breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty. Mornings on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
On 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Boy, I miss Ruben. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker hotline this morning. The State Superintendent of Education, Dr. Kate Brumley, is joining us. Good morning, Dr. Brumley.
Hey, good morning.
I gave you a heads up right like 10 seconds before we went on the air, which is pretty typical. I'm sorry. There's a kid in Livingston Parish who has started a petition to stop the cell phone ban in schools. Really, I mean, not a chance of this taking any effect. It's great on her for trying, but it's really going to have no effect, correct?
Well, look, I appreciate, a student wanting to be involved in the process. But, look, this cell phone prohibition was duly passed with overwhelming support in our state legislature, backed by data that's a growing body of data that's showing the negative impacts of cell phones that are having on students, both from an academic perspective and a behavioral perspective and a mental health perspective. And so, no, I don't think that our lawmakers are going to back down on this particular prohibition.
This youngster says the kids know when they shouldn't be on their phones, but, if we really go look in schools, they were on their phone during class time. That was happening a lot, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that cell phones were being extensively used in classrooms across the state. And I think that our lawmakers have really good intention around this particular bill, and I think they gave flexibility to local school systems for the nuances that they may have to, be able to make adjustments as needed. But, at the end of the day, again, a law that was passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, signed by Governor Landry, and is in effect today. Yeah, I've heard from a number of parents and families that have said, "Hey, my kid's not too happy about this one." But at the end of the day, we support it and we think it's going to be helpful.
Dr. Kate Brumley, there was an article in the American Spectator called "The National Security Risk at Our Door." Apparently, and we know the woke agendas from the left, but we're failing to teach civics and U.S. history. And this could cause huge problems. This is a huge issue, isn't it?
Well, look, I've been saying this for a few years now that, I believe that, America's failure to teach, the facts behind American history and the civics that underpin our government do create a national security risk. And so after having said it, for a year or so plus, I decided to pen the article in the Spectator to just put it out there for everyone's perspective to give it some thought. But look, when you have less than a quarter of the students graduating from high schools across the country proficient in American history and civics, that should be alarming to everyone. How will we know and appreciate, the beauty of the country, the majesty of the country, but also the quest for that more perfect union? And then if you look at all of the various things that are happening in our country today, we need to be able to protect and sustain and improve the republic. And in order to do that, civics certainly needs to be a priority in our schools.
Well, we know the left is really trying to rewrite and erase history. You can't do that in the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to remember it.
Well, we have been, look, Louisiana is a leader in this space. We really are. We have other states across the country looking at us because, as you guys know, we've talked about this a couple of years. We built and implemented the Freedom Framework for U.S. history and civics education for K-12. And really it's telling the story of the people, the places, and the papers that have been most significant over the course of our history. You know, it outlines the struggle, the sacrifices of individuals. It calls out the fact that, you know, we haven't always been perfect, but we have to be on that quest for a more perfect union. And furthermore, what I'll say is it eliminates a lot of bias in teaching practices because it focuses on the primary source documents. It asks kids to, you know, look at the Declaration of Independence, look at the Constitution, look at the Gettysburg Address, the I Have a Dream speech, and draw inferences and make decisions based on those primary source documents, not what someone else tells them about the document.
100 years ago when I was in school,
I thought it was 200, Aaron.
Louisiana history was mandatory. Civics was mandatory.
Right, yes.
I think
in these content areas, and I think that we replaced it with more of the social sciences, and we moved away from just truly understanding the facts of our nation's history. And again, that is all of the facts, and then furthermore, looking at and understanding the civics that underpin the government, such as the various levels of government, the branches of government, how we can interact with each other in a civil society. Because again, like if we can't understand these things, I don't know how the next generation is going to sustain, protect, improve upon the republic.
I think something that your staff sent me, it could be a game changer. The extra tutoring through the Steve Carter tutoring program, we're spending about $30 million on this, which will provide really intensive tutoring during the school day. Explain how that works, what students can be eligible. How's this going to be working?
Well, there are a few things I think we should discuss as we kick off this new school year, and this is one of them. You know, we want to be the first state in the country that can tell a family and tell a kid, you know, if you need a little extra support, we have it for you. And whether that's our tutoring model called Accelerate during the day, or whether that's the Steve Carter tutoring program in the evening or the weekends, it can both be helpful. So our legislature passed a law this last session, and it goes into effect this school year. Basically, what happens is any student in grades K through 5 not proficient in reading and or math has to receive high-dosage tutoring. So what does high dosage mean? If you think about that in medical terms, it means the right amount, the appropriate amount. So they have to get, you know, at least 30 minutes 3 times a week of small group tutoring in that content area, whether it's reading or math, K through 5, if they need a little help. And beyond that, guys, I'll share with you, we're really excited because we've been able to expand our Steve Carter model, which gives families a $1,500 voucher so that they can use it at a private tutor of their choice in the afternoons and the evenings. And our legislature graciously gave us $30 million to provide the school systems for our tutoring model during the day, and $5 million for the Steve Carter for the evenings and weekends. So we really will be the first state in the union to take this to scale, and I'm excited about the opportunity here.
Game changing, yeah.
Dr. Cade Brumley, thank you so much for your time this morning, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy new school year. Break out the flashcards.
Absolutely.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL coming.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Scared. Don't say what you just said. Oh, you got news.
You can turn on your own mic now.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Hello.
I know. We're big
Don't
time.
tell her that.
Guys, this just in. 50 Cent put this on his Instagram last night that he's putting in a permanent G-spot in downtown Shreveport.
Ruben,
really? They took it down. They took it down.
The G-Dome.
Whatever, same difference. Anyway, it's going to be permanent, and it's going to be twice as big.
Okay, but is it going to be inflatable?
You can't miss it.
Is it going to be a permanent building now,
permanent
not inflatable?
Building, not inflatable.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't that exciting,
Cool. That is
guys?
exciting.
Okay, first off, I expected way more excitement.
I'm
Y'all need to
excited.
drink some coffee and get
I know, I gotta
excited.
get my coffee.
Okay, thank you.
I got my Baileys.
Yeah.
No,
gosh.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm so
that's what I
impressed
needed.
with what he's doing.
So
for
is it going to be like
Shreveport.
open every weekend? People
Could
can
be.
go down there every weekend.
Could be. It was at max capacity all weekend.
Is
Everybody
Dave
wanted
Chappelle
in.
going to be here every weekend?
Y'all want to know something? That was the most depressing thing of my life.
No.
Because you
I
didn't
took
go.
a flight out to Denver because I had this
didn't
planned
go.
before. Foodie puts these things together so fast. Like the whole boardwalk debacle, right? And I'm over here like, that makes sense because he puts things together so fast. Anyway, and I get a text from my partner who was there and said, hey, I don't want you to get mad. I was like, what do you mean? Like, they missed the show. He said, Dave Chappelle just hit the stage. When I tell you it ruined my Denver trip, because I'm obsessed with Dave Chappelle. I think he's the funniest person to ever come along.
I've seen
really
videos
is.
of Matt Rife, like on Instagram, and you. That dude, he is so smart.
He could work a crowd like nobody else.
When he just, people don't realize when you're interacting with people, you don't have written material. I mean, he has written material.
Yeah.
But when you're, that's hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hilarious. I hate I missed him.
I know, and I'm just sitting here going, man, I would have sat in that horrible, uncomfortable Muni with my big fat butt because, that was the first thing I thought was my big butt doesn't fit in one of those seats. But for this show, I would have sat there, strapped down, and sat there and watched it all.
So a permanent G-Dome now. Is it at that same location or is it?
I don't know.
Don't know yet where?
I heard a rumor it could be
Ooh.
But it's
there's
going to
just-
be bigger.
twice the
Now,
size.
okay, my first question, I wonder how the people at Municipal, wonder what they think of that.
I don't know.
I feel like it's going to be a party spot, though. I feel like they'll have some entertainers, but I don't. I think he's over here like, let's make some money off the liquor.
Wow. Because, and it was a luxury spot. If you looked inside that G-Dome, it had sofas and, high-class operation. It wasn't a rinky-dink thing.
It was like I saw some people that were paying for like $250 a night for like VIP sections. And
Friend bought 2 tables and spent $275 a table, I think.
$275 a table.
Some of the videos I saw,
that's
I don't know
it?
that I'd say high class.
Oh, that's good. What?
Some of those videos.
Oh, did you see when they were making it rain $100 bills?
No.
I would have been that cheap girl running through collecting all the dollar bills. Like, I could buy 5 drinks with this. See, that's why I have no demure. I would not be allowed to be in there and hang out.
Well,
you know?
it was if you talk to everybody, 4 days of successful event after successful event. Chief Wayne Smith's going to join us in studio. By the way, if you missed Tommy Chandler yesterday, we're going to replay that at 6:40.
The drama.
He says, I ain't said what they said I said.
Yeah, he says, I never said that.
Wait.
Never
I
said
never
that.
said that.
For real.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is so juicy. This is the best. And then him trolling Bossier. Like, look what he did at Diddy. Bossier, we can't have this.
Yeah.
Like, so Tommy Chandler's going to fix it?
Tommy Chandler's reaching out.
has been reaching out to him.
Trying
and
to talk
said,
to him and
look,
say,
I
hey.
never said under no circumstances.
Could it be for entertainment purposes that 50's not going to entertain it? That 50's going to be like, this is good. This is for the people. Like creating the great big divide of Shreveport, Bossier.
Ooh.
Could it be that,
But how is that healthy?
we ain't here to be healthy. We here to make money, sucker.
Well, that's
Says
what I'm
the girl
saying.
that hasn't
You're going to
benefited
eliminate
financially
a
at
huge
all.
portion of your market?
Well,
no.
He's not buying up Bossier. He's buying up Shreveport.
Sure. I
So
understand.
he wants Shreveport to succeed, obviously. And that's where I think this is going. I think he wants to create this image that everybody wants to be here.
You have to recognize what's good for Shreveport is good for Bossier, and what's good for Bossier is good for Shreveport.
Yeah, but if downtown buildings start selling and the prices start going up,
Well,
he
I
benefits.
love it.
He
I love
will
it.
benefit
Sure.
financially because he's bought up a bunch of
What?
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he says we need more hotels, more swimming pools, and he said, quote, I got work to do.
And
Imagine
more-
having
and more
swimming
domes.
pools downtown.
And it starts with the permanent G-spot.
And the permanent G-spot, did I just say that?
Yes.
The
She just
G-Dome.
made me say that.
But-
a permanent G-Dome
Uh-huh.
with a swimming pool? Imagine that.
An indoor one, the
No,
humidity.
let's have a little outdoor party, an outdoor pool right next to it.
In theory, it's great.
Humidity?
But yeah, I get that
See what I did?
humid.
Humidity?
I thought you were talking about what goes on in my right here.
Hey, no.
Because it gets so humidity in there, and it's
Imagine
just horrible.
sliding down into a pool of cognac. I could get with that.
Oh, man, did you see the fine men they brought in this year?
Oh.
Let me tell you.
Okay, Tommy Chandler coming up just after the news, bottom of the
Let's
hour.
kick her
Mike and
outta here.
McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL.
Together.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Well, Curtis Jackson said he's not going to Bossier, not going to work with Bossier because of comments. Was it a misunderstanding, though? Bossier City Mayor Tommy Chandler addresses those concerns coming up just after the break. Mike and McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free KEEL app.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 1017 FM 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty, and on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline this morning, Bossier City Mayor Tommy Chandler joining us. Tommy, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Aaron.
Morning. A little bit of a kerfuffle now with the G Unit, 50 Cent. He says he's not welcome in Bossier, so he's not coming there. I want you to explain what happened. The boardwalk was going to be a zip line location, and then you contacted city officials and said, in no uncertain terms, will the boardwalk be a pickup location. What happened?
Well, let me first get this out that I never said in no uncertain terms. I never did say that. And I wish I hadn't had the pleasure to meet 50 Cent yet, or Mr. Curtis Jackson, which I'm loving to do. We've reached out to him 2 or 3 different times to reach out to meet him, and I'm looking forward to meeting this man. I know he's a great businessman and a great leader, and he has a lot of pull with all his people he's got around the world that meets with him and stuff.
So the Sportran statement they put out that says, last week, Bossier Mayor Tommy Chandler contacted several in Shreveport leadership to inform them in no uncertain terms that Sportran zipline rapid routes are not welcome in Bossier. That's a lie?
I met with Tom Arsenault in my conference room. We talked about it. I said, look, with all the traffic and everything that's going to be down in that area, they had to close Texas Street twice that night of the Saturday night. They had to close it like twice, and then some exits on I-20. For that much amount of traffic, I offered them it had to be city property, so we offered them the Brookshire's Grocery Arena parking lot, which they could have shuttled there, gone over Jimmy Davis Bridge, and gone straight down the Clyde Bat Parkway, straight into downtown, just a straight shot. We offered it to them, and they said that they could not do that.
That was too far out, was it? What did they say why that wouldn't work?
They didn't tell me that. They just told me they couldn't do that.
They wanted the boardwalk.
Yes, ma'am. This is like someone is going to throw a big birthday party at your house with thousands and thousands of people, and you're not invited. But you only find out about it a couple of days beforehand that the party is going to happen. We found out late. Really how I found out, I was listening to y'all one morning, which I always do because I love to listen to y'all in the morning. And then I called my police chief, I called my fire chief, I called Amanda Nottingham, my CAO, and I asked them, I said, have y'all gave them authority to do that? And they said no. So we kind of figured out. I even called Julian Whittington, the sheriff. And so the little short time we had, number one thing in Bossier City for me is safety. Not only safety for police, but also by fire, because people there could have been some accidents down there. Some people could have passed out in the heat and all that kind of stuff. So I got to worry about not only the police, but also the fire with that amount of people down there. And we were not prepared for that in that area, plus all the other people that go down to the East Bank every weekend.
But the boardwalk management apparently okayed it. Did they have a security plan in place? Had they contacted any security teams?
Like I told you, I found out by you and Mike. So, nothing was planned with the city.
Okay. Is that the boardwalk that dropped the ball then?
I've heard numerous different people that have gave the okay, but that was not me or none of my people gave the okay with the city.
And the city owns the boardwalk. We need to make that clear. It's not a private company.
We own the parking garage and the streets in the boardwalk.
All right. And so you had no knowledge, your police chief, nobody had any knowledge of any security plan that was in place or anything with regard to who was going to pay for the security. Y'all didn't know anything about that.
No, ma'am, not whatsoever.
So, but what I'm gathering, Mayor Tommy Chandler of Bossier City, is you still are open and would be
of Bossier City.
There you go, the great city of Bossier City. You're open to working with 50 Cent and his people, and would love to do a collaboration with them.
Well, the amount of draw of people that he brings with him, why would I not? I mean, that's going to be what benefits in Shreveport and Bossier. I mean, but it's Bossier too. So, I mean, I would not. I had no intention of avoiding him and telling him not to come over here.
So for him to post on Instagram that Bossier doesn't like our kind of people, they must not like rich people, so we're not going to Bossier. How do you respond to that? That kind of points a nasty finger at you.
Well, I'm sorry that nasty finger's pointed at me because I've been trying to reach out to him since last week, trying to get a meeting with him so I could tell him, said, hey, man, you'd be welcome here anytime you want to. He's just been misinformed, and some of the social media is very, very incorrect. Okay.
So if he's planning another event, I know the casinos in Bossier have reached out to say that we'll red carpet treatment for VIP rooms, and he has said thanks, but no thanks. We're going to stay in Shreveport. You're hoping that y'all can work this out.
Yes, ma'am. All our casino hotel rooms and everything were full this past weekend. We love that. I mean, and a lot of that was because of the people that was going to the
Humor and Harmony.
So, yeah. And with all the hotels all around were full, and all the ones in the East Bank and everywhere out there by Louisiana Downs. We love that. Why should I? I'm not going to shake off any kind of people coming to Bossier City. We want people to come to Bossier City.
There were some people that told me that there was a little concern if you're shuttling people back to the boardwalk, and they may have been partying all night, that you might have had a lot of people that were, had been drinking and were getting a little too rowdy, and that might have been too much for Bossier to handle. Is that a part of this?
Like I said before, not only am I concerned for the police, I'm concerned for the fire too. Some of those people could have come in, could have passed out, or had a little accident in the parking garage or walking or something like that. You got to think of all the different, the scenarios that could have happened. But in that short of time, us getting everybody together to work it out, it was just, it would be better just to move them down to the Brookshire Grocery Arena. They could be picked there and just easily transported down the Clyde Fant Parkway.
So you did offer the Brookshire Grocery Arena, and see, that wasn't publicized.
Right, sure wasn't.
Nobody has said that, we had the option to go to Brookshire Grocery Arena, but we didn't want to.
Ain't that something? No, sir, it sure would. No, and I sat down in my conference room with Mr. Mayor Arsenault, and we talked about it.
One other thing people have mentioned, Mayor Chandler, is that the boardwalk could have hugely benefited from this. When these people parked their cars, they might have gone and shopped at the boardwalk before hopping on that shuttle. They might have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars in Bossier before ever jumping on the shuttle. Is that a concern for you and the boardwalk management who thought, hey, this will be a huge benefit for us?
Well, yes, ma'am. Then we have our regular customers that come down there, too. Another thing we was concerned about is after they put out that they couldn't park there, of all the people that were misinformed that they could park there, and they parked there, and nobody would come to pick them up. I mean, they'd be down in the parking garage, and I'd hate to see those people have to walk over the Texas Street Bridge. I couldn't in that heat. If the trolley wasn't coming down there to pick them. We was concerned about that also, that they'd be parking in there misinformed and they wouldn't be picked up.
Well, hopefully this is just a huge misunderstanding. You'll be able to get in touch with Curtis Jackson's people and work this out, because Shreveport and Bossier City go together like,
rice and gravy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's close enough. I mean, we go together good. No, I would love to, meet Mr. Curtis Jackson and show him Bossier City and explain to him that, we did not, didn't tell anybody to stay away from here. I never did say that one time.
Mayor Tommy Chandler, appreciate you jumping in and wanting to clear things up. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a great day.
Mm-hmm. You too. Thanks, Tommy. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Back with McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, in my continuing saga, you know how I have just become obsessed with this zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
Creamy coconut. Mm-hmm. Zero sugar. People will go, they'll send me a message or they'll text and go, hey, I found it. It's at so-and-so.
But it's not the zero sugar.
It's not zero sugar. It's just the regular creamy coconut.
Which is very sweet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the zero sugar is what it's hard to find locally. I've had to order it on the Amazon. Mm-hmm. But Aaron, I ran across something else that might be pretty dang tasty.
What?
Check this out. Zero sugar Oreo flavored Coca-Cola.
Wow. So it would have a chocolate and it would have that
Oreo flavored Coca-Cola. Limited edition.
Now, I've been on the medication that I'm legally allowed to have, and I've dipped an Oreo in Coca-Cola. but this seems new. This seems interesting. I like this.
Now, it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
In addition to the Oreo flavored Coca-Cola, Nabisco is now doing Coca-Cola flavored Oreos.
Coca-Cola. How is an Oreo sugar-free?
I don't know that this is going to be sugar-free, but Coke and Nabisco have teamed up, okay, obviously, for this promotion. So they're doing both. And they've also actually teamed up with Spotify and a store. What was the store? Forever 21.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So you see who they're targeting.
Oh, sure.
Not
us.
not
yeah.
But that zero sugar Oreo flavored Coca-Cola sounds pretty dang tasty to me.
So now what you're saying, man, is I gotta get the Oreo flavored Coke and the Coke flavored Oreo and dip the Coke flavored Oreo in the Oreo flavored Coke. Is that what I'm doing?
Confused.
Well, now you don't have to dip it. It's pre-dipped.
No.
That would be too much.
No, just milk and Oreos. That's all I want.
And they're selling frozen versions of Oreo flavored Coca-Cola at McDonald's and 7-Eleven. So I don't know if it'll be at Circle K's. They say 7-Eleven.
If I find some, I'm going to bring it in and let you doofy test it.
Thank you.
Doofy, the plural of doofus.
That's the plural of doofus.
Yeah.
Certainly
absolutely.
That's nuts.
So
I like it.
They say, and they're teaming up with Forever 21 and Spotify. You can, quote, sync up your music preferences.
Wow.
And then I guess some kind of clothing with Forever 21 that
Holy
you can,
cow.
it's called bestie mode because they're calling these are besties.
Yeah.
It's under $20, or you can wait 6 months and buy it for $1 at Goodwill.
Right, exactly. The dollar store, yeah.
Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith and Captain Janice Daly going to join us in studio after the local news. Chief Smith and his crew and Captain Daly, amazing job for humor and harmony, and we'll hear their thoughts on the wrap up. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty. In studio, Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith and Shreveport Police Captain Janice Daly in studio talking about what has become a successful event for Shreveport, Humor and Harmony, and due in large part because of the work that you guys did for weeks prior to this. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so very much, Captain Daly. I must give the plugs to her. She was the mastermind behind this plan, and without a doubt, she has great talent that makes her uniquely special to handle something of this magnitude.
Janice, I got to ask you, how do you even know how to staff something that you, A, haven't done before, B, you have no clue how many people are showing up? I guess you just have to be over-prepared.
That's part of it. You reach out to other agencies who've done things like this in the past, and you learn from the things that worked for them and the things that didn't work for them. And we have worked things in downtown Shreveport before, and we just kind of pull on our experience and, put it all together.
And you suggested, I assume you guys suggested what streets would be best that we close off. Let's make these walkable so there's not traffic driving up and down. I guess that was your first stop. What are we going to close so that we know we need barricades out first? Is that where you start?
A great traffic plan is a major part of an event, getting people in, getting people out, and the people that are normally traveling through that area to make it as smooth as possible for them to come and go.
Captain Daly, let me ask you, I hate to say this, but you obviously have to prepare for the worst.
Absolutely.
You have to sit it around a table and go, what if we have somebody do A, B, or C? Are we ready for that? How's that conversation go?
Very much like what you just said. If A, B, or C happens, if we have this catastrophic event, what is our plan of action? And then we go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But also on the flip side of that, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Here's what we're going to do to prevent it.
Correct.
And which is what you guys did. So how did you allocate for that? I mean, what are some of the contingencies that you were looking for?
So one of the things that I was most worried about was something along the Boston Marathon, or when we had a car run through a crowd, because like you mentioned, Aaron, we closed some streets to make them walkable. And so we put barricades in place and we put officers in place to try to prevent that. We use some of our special teams, our specialty units, to keep a monitor of the people who were down there to kind of let us address if we saw any hot spots or any problems developing. And that worked very well for us.
Did you have the equine unit?
Yes, we did. And technology is a great part of that. Throughout the event, we had in excess of 200 eyes in the sky, cameras that were focused on that area, the downtown area. And in addition to that, drone technology really helped us out. We had drones in the air. We had around 11 or so portable camera trailers that was deployed strategically. We had people in real-time crime center that was their exclusive job, was to watch that area, to recognize potential hazards, pass that on to us so we could prevent anything from happening altogether.
Captain, how many officers were assigned to work Humor and Harmony during the 4 days?
Total? If I can only give you an estimate because we've not finished all of that, but we had about 150 plus each night.
Now, was that just SPD, or does that include marshals?
No, that includes all of our partners that worked with us.
Okay,
so it's SPD, it's CATO, it's probation and parole. We even had a few specialized units from state police. So it included
Did y'all reach out to Bossier and ask for officers from Bossier?
We did not. The partners that normally assist us, who has arrest authority in our jurisdiction, usually they're the first ones we reach out to try to get the resources we need. And throughout this, we were able to find those resources within our jurisdiction.
The cost for these officers, the Shreveport Bossier Advocate's done a great piece putting the estimate, I think they did a public records request, of $500,000 to pay for all these officers that went overtime.
Yes, that sounds about right. One thing that you need to keep in mind, that was not just the 4-day event. That was about 19 or 20 days total because there's pre-security and a whole lot that goes into it. It's not just the day of the event.
Now, that $500,000 is expected to be paid by G Unit, correct?
That is my understanding.
It's not a city expense.
That is my understanding.
But it has not been paid yet.
That is my understanding.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you're optimistic he's going to pay for it?
Absolutely.
Pretty hopeful?
Absolutely.
Not anticipating any issues with that?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate the history that he's already shown here.
It's been remarkable working with Mr. Jackson and his team. They've been very amicable to our suggestions about securing this event, and I don't anticipate any issues there.
Can y'all stay with us? I want to talk about a couple of incidents that have been reported. I want to see if any of them are true. What's happened? How many arrests were made? That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Captain Janice Daly, Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith in studio. Mike and McCarty, 1017 FM, 710keel.com.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
In studio with Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith, Shreveport Police Captain Janice Daly joining us, wrapping up Humor and Harmony. And Aaron, you were talking about, we did hear some, like there had to be some pepper spray. Some people, what did they rush the dome? Is that what happened? They wanted in after it was already full.
There were some minor events that occurred, and we took care of them appropriately at that time, yes.
Arrests? Do you have a number of how many people were arrested?
I think it was an arrest or two. I can't be absolutely certain because we had 3 or 4 different agencies that was assisting us, had different assignments, and we have not had our recap yet of this entire event to have all the information.
Got word from someone in the city marshal's office that a man in full gear, whatever, with a scope and possible rifle tried to get in to the basketball event on Friday night, and he was detained and or arrested.
I have no information.
No information about that. No. The DWI arrests you guys sent out, about a dozen or so DWI arrests. How many of them do we know were connected to the Humor and Harmony Festival?
Generally, when we make an arrest, it's not significant to us where the person came from, but I think we can safely say that there were probably some that did evolve from that entertainment district. I can't give you an exact number.
Like what about leaving Mall St. Vincent area after they were shuttled back? Were there any issues from there? Well,
the arrests were made, all over town, so I can't be absolutely certain where from.
Okay. Captain Daly, there have been some questions and concerns about open container, where it was allowed, when it was allowed, and that possibly there was some sort of order from higher-ups in the police department not to enforce the open container laws.
Well, I'm the higher-up in the police department.
You're the guy, okay.
There is no truth to that.
So was open container allowed or not allowed?
It didn't come out of my office not to enforce any of our ordinances or laws.
Did you arrest anybody on open container violations?
Not to my knowledge.
Because you can see the video. They're drinking everywhere.
But I think what's important to remember, Aaron, is that the area that was, for lack of a better description, that we call the entertainment area that was enclosed by the fence was permitted as a festival.
Okay.
And drinking is allowed,
But walking to and from the Red River District and that dome?
It was all inside that fence.
It all was?
Yes, ma'am.
So then that wasn't a violation?
Correct.
So people who are saying that, it's like that's absolutely incorrect information.
Yes, and like Chief just said, he issued no such order, and neither did I, to ignore any violations of law.
You guys have had meetings since then. You've assessed everything. What are some of the things that next time you go, we're going to do this differently? Were there any issues that came up?
Well, the earlier you begin to plan, the better off you are. And now that we've learned from this event some things that we could probably do better to make things flow a lot smoother. So, yes, it was a learning experience for us. And quite frankly, we are looking forward to the very next event.
I'll give you my heads up from hearing from folks. It was the ingress and egress, the traffic. Traffic and parking were probably the two big things that people were complaining about. Because when you were going into downtown during the heart of this event, it was gridlock. And I know you don't have enough officers where you can go direct traffic, but I know we closed some streets off, and that may have been a problem too. Should more people have used the parkway? Should we have done something different with regard to traffic?
I'll leave that to Captain Daly.
I understand that it was slow moving, but I can say this, Aaron, from watching it, traffic never stopped moving. What we would encourage is that more people use the shuttle services that were provided. That's why they were provided. Mr. De Niro Washington with Sportran, said he partnered up with the city on that and used the shuttle services, and just be patient. It's like any big event.
Which is the smart thing to do. It's one of the reasons they were set up that way.
My daughter came in from Houston and attended all of the events and rode the shuttles each day, and she said it was remarkable. It was great. That was the best thing that she could have ever done.
The response and the grade that everybody's given this is really high. Really high, because and I can't even imagine you guys, how you were on the edge of your seat going, please, and as the mayor called, we had a couple of knuckleheads. I'm sure y'all were worried about knuckleheads doing stupid stuff.
Absolutely, and that's normal whenever you mix hundreds of thousands of people together and behavior-altering substances, and everyone is having a good time. That's to be expected.
Take a deep breath when it's over, I would assume. Y'all, all of you did, I'm sure. Like, man, this was way better than we could have ever anticipated.
Absolutely, and we as commanding officers, it's always a worry on our mind, what did I forget? What did I not think of?
We know the department is down. What is it, 150? Is that where we are?
We're down considerably, yes.
How are recruiting efforts going?
We got an academy class we began last week with 17. So we're making the right strides in that direction.
50 Cent has posted that he's going to build a permanent G-Dome downtown, having a permanent structure, possibly with fencing around it. Captain Daly, that would be a huge benefit, a plus to enhancing the downtown and the nightlife down there, correct?
In my opinion, yeah, it would be.
For future weekends, people want to go this weekend to the Red River District, next weekend to the Red River District. Y'all all know security is our number one concern. We want to make sure we're safe. There was no doubt people felt like they were safe. How do you maintain that on the city's dime now? You're not on G-Unit's dime anymore.
We have a regiment of resources that are permanently assigned downtown, and the greater that expands, the more of the need, the more resources we can put in that direction. So we're confident that our residents can come out, visit the downtown area, go to the entertainment district, have a great time, and be safe.
Would you guys encourage the business owners down there possibly to get together and work to help with the security costs? I mean, would that be something that you guys would entertain? I'm bringing money to the table. You're like, oh, of course I would. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll entertain any great suggestions that will be of benefit to our community. Absolutely.
Well, once again, congratulations on a successful event. We know everything overall was good news. And
yes.
As you say, we're looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. It's on the way, I'm sure.
Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith, Captain Janice Daly in studio, Micah McCarty. Coming up at 7:40, Bossier City Councilman Brian Hammond's going to join us. Shreveport City Council says, hey, thank you.
They've got the clown car back on the road in Bossier again today.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Hey. More breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Well, Shreveport, I keep saying Shreveport, Bossier City Mayor Tommy Chandler wanted to disband the Charter Commission. But the Bossier Council had other ideas. We're going to talk with Brian Hammond's Bossier Council member right after the break. 101.7 FM, 710KEEL.com.
Stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
So we know Bossier City Mayor Tommy Chandler, this whole Charter Commission has well, it's just been a nightmare. Mm-hmm. It's just been like you said a moment ago. It's a clown show.
Yeah.
In Bossier, which is usually not the case.
Running like a smooth train
for years. Mm-hmm. But apparently that's not the case anymore.
No.
Not only did the Bossier City Council vote not to disband the Charter Commission, they also voted not to put term limits on the ballot.
That's what I understand.
Brian Hammonds, go ahead.
Hang on, I just lost him.
Did you?
Aaron,
Okay.
could you show me that number again?
Okay.
Bossier City Councilman Brian Hammonds is on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Brian, good morning.
Good morning.
What on earth is going on?
Well, we just like excitement, I guess, in Bossier, or chaos.
Yeah. Now, there was some discussion about whether or not the council can disband the Charter Commission. I think Councilman David Montgomery said, the charter says or whatever that we shall not interfere. Is that language accurate?
Well, in some ways it does say that, but I'm of the opinion, well, if we're going to follow the charter for that, we need to follow the charter for everything.
and you've not been doing it on all fronts, right?
Yeah. No. Look, I'm not a lawyer, so that's one of the reasons. The questions were asked to our city attorney Charles Jacobs yesterday. The charter clearly states, if petitioners turn in a petition with 33% of the votes of the voters from a mayoral election, we do have a certain time period that, we must put this out for an election, put it out to the citizens. And, it's, in my eyes, it's kind of a double standard. In one way, we have to follow the charter and follow the law for this, but in the other side, we don't.
Yeah, because the charter says you shall put it out to the voters and you shall act within 30 days. We haven't done that, correct?
No, well, the 30 days, it was presented to us on July the 25th. So the 30 days in all actuality is up on August the 25th. But, the big key component there is our next council meeting is not until August the 27th. So we would be 2 days past that deadline. And
the council voted against putting it on the ballot during yesterday's meeting. Am I right?
That is correct. It was a 5-2 vote. Myself and Councilman Smith were the only yays for that.
What do they say when you ask them about, well, this is against what the charter says? What is their answer?
Well, there really isn't an answer, Aaron. The questions have been asked over and over, and in one light they say, we have term limits. Well, we don't have term limits. Yes, agreed, every 4 years, everybody does come up for re-election, and you can be voted out at any time. But when you have people that run unopposed and, it's just the same people over and over and over, that really is not term limits. That it's good enough for our state elected officials, for our legislators in Baton Rouge. It should be good enough for us.
We had a message on the message board. We're talking with Brian Hammonds, Bossier councilman. Said, can the council still meet the requirements of the charter to get the petition to a vote?
I do believe, that the one big factor in that, Mike, is in order to get it on a ballot, it has got to go to the State Bond Commission. They don't just meet every Friday or every Thursday. They have certain deadlines that they meet. This is when they meet throughout the year, and we are on a very, very tight time crunch in order to get that to them so they can review it, and then it can move on to the Secretary of State.
Brian, have you heard from constituents that are maybe upset and are going to remember this come Election Day?
Mike, yes, I have. I live in a district that I would probably say 90% of my constituents are 100% for term limits. And I love that. I ran on term limits. My constituents want term limits. But yes, I have. I've heard from, I grew up in North Bossier, but I live in South Bossier now, and I still know a ton of people up there, and they call me all the time like, hey, we're for this. Mm-hmm. We want this.
Brian,
and, I tell them, you got to get out and vote.
Brian Hammonds, this is going to ultimately lead to litigation. The Term Limits Coalition is going to sue Bossier City and the city council, which is going to cost us money that you could use to fill potholes, to fix swimming pools, to do all kinds of things with. How idiotic does that sound?
Well, Aaron, you're exactly right. That is one point that I brought up yesterday is the litigation and the cost factor. All of that money, we could be putting that money into our first responders who need pay raises more than, people just do not understand that these officers and firefighters need a pay raise so they can support their families. They don't have to work 20 to 30 hours a week, part-time jobs, just to make ends meet and put groceries on the table.
Where do we go from here on the Charter Study Commission? I guess they keep meeting?
Well, they cannot meet without a quorum. So,
okay.
Which as you've seen in the past, that really doesn't matter. That's where it kind of turned into in what everybody is calling a circus in Bossier. But right now, since the last meeting, they have not met. I don't honestly, Aaron, I don't know. I don't know where the Charter Commission goes from here.
Do you anticipate the mayor will try again to disband it? or is he going to probably give up on that one?
Yeah, I will. I do think that he will try to disband it. I think if I was him, I would be getting another opinion, reaching out to another attorney, getting an outside opinion on whether or not he has the legal right to do that. Is what I would be doing. But, I have to say that I was proud of our mayor yesterday. He stood up. He had a voice. He stood up for what was right. And he was 100% behind term limits.
But term limits is not the only thing that the commission has been working on. Has there been anything accomplished through the commission?
Oh, yeah, Mike. I'm glad you asked that. Yes, they have worked tirelessly on a ton of other items that really need to be changed in the charter. And that is what is so disheartening is that, they have done a lot of good. I've been to a couple of their meetings. I've watched them. I've talked to my appointee on the charter, and they have done a lot of good that now is probably not going to go anywhere.
Which is a shame.
Well, we will be in touch.
Yes,
I know this is not the end of this. Rev up the clown cars, huh?
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully we're sold out of popcorn and we're sending the animals back. So
I'm going to send you some cotton candy.
From here on out, it's going to be different.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Bossier City Councilman Brian Hammonds, Mike and McCarty, 1017 FM, 710keel.com.
Back of Mike and McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
.17 FM, 710 Keel, Mike and McCarty. We were talking about off mic a little earlier about GeekCon this weekend. Do you know, because we usually get assigned working with somebody, some of the guests and whatnot. Ruben, who are you working with?
Sunday, I'm working with Francois Petit. He played Sub-Zero in the first Mortal Kombat movie. And on Saturday, I'm with Josh Martin, the voice actor.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you either one of them. Sorry.
No, I don't know who I'm working with. I actually haven't looked at the list. I'll show up Friday and I'll look and go, okay, here's where I go.
I got lucky.
Who you got?
They're doing they added the Sports Card Expo this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday and Saturday, I get to work with Todd Walker.
Oh, that'll that'll be fun.
I'm going to hang with Todd all weekend.
Oh, that'll be nice.
And then Sunday, Annabeth Gish.
Oh, cool.
Which is Lillian Gish's, granddaughter. Yeah, she's Annabeth is an actress. I first saw her in Mystic Pizza.
She was in Mystic Pizza. How cool is that?
with Julia Roberts.
Nice. That was Julia's first big movie, right?
Big breakout. Yeah.
Oh, it's Josh Martin's. He's a Houghton guy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Very cool. GeekCon is going to be big. It opens Friday afternoon, runs through Sunday.
Friday.
It's at the convention center, and they've cleaned up the convention center pretty amazing. Thank you, 50 Cent. Appreciate it, big guy.
Really?
Oh, yeah, things are looking good.
So 50 Cent got things done.
Got things, yeah. They came in and repaired everything that was goofing up. They now I heard the AC went out during the car show for a little bit, but they immediately got it fixed. So everything's rolling really nicely down there.
Now, I'm also looking forward to Thursday night at the Robinson Film Center.
Oh, my.
I'm going.
Oh, that's going to be so cool.
5 o'clock, they have a meet and greet. Mm-hmm. If you haven't heard, they're screening E.T., okay? Which is cool. Yep. You get to see E.T. on the big screen, but you get to watch it with Henry Thomas and Dee Wallace.
Yes.
The two stars. Henry Thomas played the little boy.
Right.
And Dee Wallace was played his mom.
That is so cool.
And they're going to have a meet and greet. They're going to have a Q&A session. Mm-hmm. If you always wanted to know how did they make E.T. move, how did Henry react to the animatronic or whatever, you can ask those questions.
Oh, my gosh. Right there with the stars. That is going to be so amazing.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Such a cool event.
This is going to be 15,000 people showing up for GeekCon, a monster impact to our community. The convention center is going to be hopping. It's going to be a great event. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, too.
I'm looking forward to seeing everything working at the convention center.
That's going to be cool.
I missed the car show.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to go.
I know. Those cars were incredible.
I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Hi.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty. Also on the free KEEL app. If you haven't downloaded it, be sure to do so because that's also how you connect with us on the Shreveport Security Systems message board.
Can we call him the Grand Poobah?
The Grand Geek Paw?
No, he doesn't want any nicknames.
No, you guys.
King Geek.
No, I swear.
The Geek-O-Matic.
I nearly got canceled for people giving me geek nicknames.
Oh, okay.
We can just say showrunner, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
I like
producer.
The Geek-O-Nator.
All right.
Greg Adams in studio with us, who does put this together every year. Phenomenal job.
Man.
It's almost overwhelming, the number of huge stars that are going to be here this year.
This year, actually, I think compared to last year, we're down a little bit. But when I was talking to someone yesterday, we've maybe traded quantity for quality a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we have less than we did last year, but our median this year is higher than it was last year.
For folks who are listening who have no idea what GeekCon is, explain it in a minute or so.
All right. It's got basically 3 legs to it. One, it's like a giant celebrity meet and greet where you get a chance to come in and actors from movies, from TV shows, athletes, professional wrestlers, comic book artists, you get to come in and have a little meet and greet with each one of them, everyone that you want to. Then we also have our vendor floor. And this year we're going to have 2 because we're going to have our geeky vendor floor and then our sports card vendor floor. We're building over 200 booths this year. I think it might be closer to 250 booths. We have vendors from all over the United States that are coming in from as far away as California, New York, Illinois, Iowa. We've got a ton of people coming in. And then the third leg of it is just all the little interactive community things we have going on. We've got a brick building room this year in the Red River Boardroom where there's going to be thousands of Legos that you can build with. That's free with your ticket. We have a cornhole tournament going on. That does have a fee to enter, but there's $3,000 in cash prizes for the cornhole tournament. Our cosplay contest on Sunday has a $1,000 cash prize. That's free to enter and watch with your ticket to the show.
Cosplay is
costuming. But it's not necessarily, and cosplay really is whatever you want it to be. Halloween costume, cosplay. If you want it, there are people who spend their entire year building, 3D printing, painting, sculpting cosplays for just this event. So there are people who have been working on cosplay that they've never worn out before until this weekend, and they've been after it for 12 to 18 months. Thousands of dollars put into it, and you get to see it.
Now, there's something they need to know before coming into the Shreveport Convention Center. If part of your costume is a weapon, there are some restrictions that people need to be aware of.
Yeah, and this kind of goes in with the rules in general for city-owned and operated building because it's the convention center. There's no outside food or drink, and there's no firearms, which is a standard rule, but it extends a little bit further into the cosplay because sometimes people will choose a character to cosplay where they have a firearm of some kind. Now, a few years back, the Shreveport Police Department established a rule, again, city-owned building, and the Shreveport Police provide most of our, the word provide has to be very delicately used right now. We pay for Shreveport Police to be our security. And so they're operating the security, and what they've asked us to do is to have a toy firearm weapon policy. They want to be able to identify that it is a toy or plastic or not real from 50 yards away. So they want to be able to identify it. So no little orange rings around a realistic-looking AR-15. It has to be like a Nerf gun or a Star Wars blaster.
Okay. Best way to get tickets. What's the secret?
Geekcon.com right now is the best way to get tickets. We will have them at the box office, but the price does go up at the box office. So if you buy them online now, they start at just $20 for Friday night. It's a very minimal fee online this year. Last year, the fees got out of hand. This year, our most expensive fee is under $5 online. So it's not our fee. It's the ticket processor. But $20 Friday ticket. And if you buy the weekend pass and you want to get in quicker on Saturday and Sunday, buy the weekend ticket, come out Friday. You'll get your weekend wristband so that on Friday, there's no scanning ticket. There's no wristbanding. You literally just have your band. You go in.
Come in the door. Don't wait in line at all.
Is our Supergirl going to be there?
She may have been at cosplay karaoke last night. We have a Bears week. Has Geeked Week this week. We had a free show on Monday night.
Yes, we did.
That's why I had to run the board on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then last night we had cosplay karaoke where they did karaoke where you're wearing your cosplay. Tonight is a goth synth night, so that's going to be a nice throwback to your 80s Cure.
Okay.
And then tomorrow night, Robinson Film Center. Yeah, oh my God, that's tomorrow already. Yeah. Robinson Film Center is showing E.T. with Henry Thomas and Dee Wallace. And then on Friday night, after GeekCon, we have a after party at Sweet Caroline's Dueling Piano Bar. We'll do that again on Saturday. So 2 after parties. And I've heard from a couple of the celebrity guests already, they plan to attend the after party at Sweet Caroline's. When they found out it's a Dueling Piano Bar, they're in.
I'm in, yeah.
And then Sunday we have another Afterglow event. It's like an after party, but it's not going to be a party. It's Dungeons and Drafts, a Dungeons and Dragons event back at Bears.
Okay, we got it. Before we wrap, we got to stress this. For you, if you're a parent or a grandparent, this is going to be the thing when kids go to school on Monday. All the kids are going to be talking about, hey, were you at GeekCon? Were you?
Yeah.
Don't let your kid be the one that misses out.
There's going to be a lot of FOMO with it. And honestly, it's not just going to be the kids. There's going to be people in the office because they're going to come out. They're going to meet Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims. They're going to meet NFL Hall of Famers, Pro Football Hall of Famers, Willie Roaf and Bob Lilly.
There's another Billy down there, too, I think.
Willie Roaf.
We don't talk about the other Billy.
They're going to meet Rafael Palmeiro, one of only 7 guys who's in the 500 home run club and the 3,000 hits club in baseball history.
Wow.
Texas Rangers legend. And then, of course, LSU national champions, Jacob Hester and Todd Walker. So it's not just the kids that are going to talk about meeting their anime and video game heroes on Monday. There are going to be people in the office telling you about the big 11x17 picture of Jacob Hester scoring a touchdown against Florida that they got signed.
And this is the first year that we've combined the Sports Card Expo, is that right?
We have dabbled in pro wrestlers and athletes for the last few years. This is the first year that we're committing all the way. So in the second floor of the building, You'll be able to shop from sports card and memorabilia vendors. So just because that an athlete's not on our list, I know there are going to be Paul Skeens autographs. I've already seen some of the dealers.
Oh, wow.
So if you're looking for an autograph of an athlete that a Patrick Mahomes autograph, something that you can't just like go get your hands on normally, those are going to be available this weekend too. And both of the shows, the Sports Expo and GeekCon, included in one ticket, along with the bricks and the cosplay contest and the panels. All of it, you just buy your Friday night $20 ticket and you can get in and check all this stuff out.
Greg's got to go. He's got to drive the KEEL limo because he's going back and forth from the airport. And
you're not going to loan him your Bentley?
I am not driving anyone this week. I do have to coordinate all that, though, which is tremendous. This is great. I'm already watching flights.
I can't thank you enough for everything you have done. It's going to be a spectacular event. You got to be there. Geekcon.com to get your tickets now.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
You know, we talked to Chief Wayne Smith earlier, kind of wrapping up Humor and Harmony and getting a recap on how that all went. We got a message on the Shreveport Security Systems message board that said, listening to Chief Smith earlier, sounds like SPD and associates were more prepared than the Secret Service at the Trump rally.
Whoa.
Great job, SPD and law enforcement agencies.
I'm telling you, if I had to tell you I've talked to 100 people about Humor and Harmony, that's what they say. Folks felt safe. They felt like the area was secure. Nobody was going to act a fool. They were not going to be in danger. And that's how it went. We had no, rash of arrests. We had some DWI arrests. We don't know how many were connected to the festival. A couple of other random arrests. Use of pepper spray once or twice. Yeah. When the crowds got, out of hand. I just don't, 50 Cent says he's going to build a bigger G-Dome, a permanent structure. I don't know if it's going to be on that site. I don't know how much more room you have there. But he also says we need more pools and we need more hotels. I've got work to do.
We know he's already bought buildings downtown. Mm-hmm. He's already, he's going to be leasing the Millennium Studios, but investing millions.
Oh, he's going to be leasing Stageworks too. Yeah,
and Stageworks. Mm-hmm. And so we can just hope for the best.
Yes, going to hopefully get, movie making back up and going. I mean, the festival was just part one. Part two is the big part about bringing movie making and TV productions to town. And he's got a contract, I believe, with Fox for, all kinds of productions. So he wants to do it all here.
I want to see the Videosphere, too. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. He's supposed to be building that over by Millennium.
Right.
And that's going to be really cool. But to have a permanent G-Dome downtown.
And I haven't heard anything since the original presentation about, wasn't there going to be a huge Ferris wheel down by the Skyport and the aquarium? Do you remember that?
Something about that? That'd be kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
A huge Ferris wheel overlooking the river?
I'm waiting to see, is the Red River District going to be hopping this weekend? Is it going to be hopping next weekend? Are people going to come back? Or is there somebody or some of the businesses down there going to put some music out there where people can go and just kind of wander around? Is that going to be a viable place where we have kind of pumped new life into it? I'm hoping so.
I want to find out from somebody what the city needs to do to properly develop the Red River District. Mm-hmm. Because there's some really cool buildings down there. Used to be a lot of restaurants, in clubs.
You bet.
And for the most part, a lot of them are empty.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back, remember MacArthur's Chop House.
Sure.
Nikki's was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of restaurants and comedy clubs. And,
yep.
And is it rent prohibitive? Or is the city asking too much? Is it a security issue? Do people not feel safe? Do we need renovations on the buildings? I want to know, what is it going to take I mean, I don't expect a Beale Street, or Bourbon Street, but my gosh, it is being underutilized
it's
right now.
It's such an ideal location. I mean, to be under that bridge, you've got, it's so walkable. It is such an amazing place. And I'm hoping they can come together, maybe with the two casinos, maybe with the other business owners, and let's drive that place. Because you know what? The casinos will benefit. Because I went down there both mornings, Thursday and Friday. No, Friday and Saturday morning. And there were still people wandering around. Everything had shut down at 4, but they were wandering around and they were headed toward the casinos. Mm-hmm. They were lingering around the casinos. So the casinos benefited. Now, maybe they were staying in the casino hotels. I don't know. But I thought those casinos benefited. We're going to see when the August sales tax numbers roll in, how much of a shot in the arm we got from this. I'm hoping we see some really big numbers.
All those buildings along Commerce Street facing the river.
Yep.
There used to be Ernest's was down there, for crying out loud.
Sure.
When I was doing Lyft and Uber on Sunday, it was all out-of-town people, all at the casino hotels.
Yep.
Yeah, all wanting brunch.
Yes, absolutely. Not wanting to talk, just want to get me brunch.
Get me to the food now, please.
I need some food. Absolutely.
I had a barber. It used to be on Uri Drive in one of those former houses that are all now businesses along Uri. And first of all, he was bald. I'm sure he shaved, kind of a real long goatee. He had calendars and pictures all around this shop, I say with parentheses, air quotes, of Rottweilers.
Oh, wow.
And the thing I loved, he gave great haircuts, and he would also do the massage thing on your neck and your scalp after he had the thing on his old school barber. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He shaved your neck with the straight razor and the hot lather.
Yeah.
But the thing I loved the most, he wouldn't say a word if you didn't talk to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Perfect.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's
just
the best.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say a word.
If I'm driving and they don't talk beyond the, hey, how you doings, I don't talk either.
Yeah. Take the hint. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I miss him. He passed away several years ago, but that was my favorite.
When we get back at about 8:40, we got to talk about what happened in Bossier yesterday. Because I think we need to get some popcorn out and cotton candy.
It just continues. Mm-hmm. We have a select few that are just running that train.
Yeah.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
All right, I told you I hate to say fallen in love because we use the word love so inappropriately. Mm-hmm. I really, really, really like this zero sugar Dr. Pepper creamy coconut.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a new thing coming out. It's a promotion. Coca-Cola has teamed up with Nabisco.
Okay.
How about zero sugar Oreo flavored Coca-Cola?
No. No.
Why?
Why are you wrecking a good Oreo and a good Coke?
And Oreo is coming out with a Coca-Cola flavored Oreo.
Oh, no.
Wow, man.
No.
Whoa. I wonder what it would be like to dip the Coke flavored Oreo in the Oreo flavored Coke. Wow.
Well, who's going to buy this?
Me? That voice that I was just doing?
Yeah. That dude.
Wow. That's great.
Man. So it's going to sell at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Unreal.
Bossier City Council, boy, they've ratcheted up the clown show. And we're going to talk about that coming up. Talk about going against the wishes of the voters.
Yeah. I'm telling you, big time.
I hope voters remember this come election time. Who did what?
Right.
That's next after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Now, admittedly, you keep up with this way more than I do. You watch these meetings.
I actually didn't watch this one yesterday. I'm going to go back and watch eventually, but I didn't yesterday.
But what had happened was the citizens of Bossier, first of all, presented a new certified petition to put term limits on the ballot.
In December.
Required number of voters' signatures, certified the petition.
Yep.
The Charter Commission, which has done work on other issues other than just term limits in Bossier. But the city council has, and the mayor wanted to disband this Charter Commission.
Right.
We know Preston Friedley was the commission president, and he resigned. He said he just couldn't do this anymore. The commission has been fighting back and forth. There was the acting city attorney. That meeting got ugly.
Yep.
Nothing has gotten done in the past several weeks.
Here's the problem where you have to buy one argument or the other. The charter says when there's a certified petition with the amount of signatures necessary.
And this is the existing Bossier Charter.
Yep. The city council shall call for an election to put the item on the ballot, and they shall act within 30 days. Okay, I think the 25th of August or thereabouts is the 30-day mark. So that's the part of the charter. If you're going to follow your charter, you shall put it on the ballot. Okay? Now let's move back over to the Charter Review Commission. The mayor wants to disband the Charter Review Commission, but now you have some council members who don't want term limits in place, and so they've kind of been holding off on that. And now they're pulling up the charter and saying, but the charter says we can't interfere with the Charter Review Commission. So you're going to follow the charter for that argument. But for the other argument on term limits, where you shall put it on the ballot within 30 days, we're not going to follow the charter for that argument because it doesn't fit our narrative. That's where I have a problem.
And the Charter Review Commission is made up of members appointed by Bossier City Council members, amongst others.
Absolutely.
So you've got what some would say are puppets of city council members on the Charter Review Commission.
Yeah. And I would say that's where that commission needs to start over, and
which is what the mayor wanted.
And change the makeup of the commission. Make it be, either bigger so that, you have other people represented, like you have maybe the Chamber of Commerce represented. You have the NAACP represented. You have different groups represented.
Or how about the citizens of Bossier City?
That are not appointed by the city council. You'd have to figure out some way to appoint them. And that would be one of those things you'd have to figure it out. But that's one of those things. They've just got to figure out, how do we get beyond this? Because this fighting back and forth, you're just hurting your own community. And it's not looking good. It looks awful, to be quite frank. And they've got to figure out a way around this. So they have until the 25th to decide if they're going to put term limits on the ballot. And if they don't, you can mark my words, the charter certification group, they're going to file suit. They're going to sue the city council and the city of Bossier and say, look, here's what your charter requires. You're now violating your charter.
But that's not going to, if you start entering into a legal proceeding, that's not going to be resolved before the next election, much less time.
I hope they ask for what, I don't know the legal term.
Expedited decision.
Something fast so that we can move this forward. But again, you still have to go, like we heard John Fleming say yesterday, you still got to get it to the bond commission because they've got to also check the box to get it moved to the ballot. So you're delay. It's delaying tactics. I mean, that's what it smells like.
Exactly.
And so they can run again in the spring and possibly get another 4 years, and then maybe they'll be term limited after that. I just think that smells like a rat, and what smells like a rat typically is a rat, and I'm not in favor of that. I don't like that. I do like a start over for the Charter Review Commission. Maybe some of the same members, and maybe they sit down and smoke a peace pipe or something and figure out how we're going to move forward without all this craziness, because it's just not it's just not pretty.
It's not a good look, and again, as a citizen in Bossier, should look at this. Not me, but I'm saying citizens in Bossier. I hope they're keeping tabs on who's been doing what.
Absolutely.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm going to admit this on the radio with tens of people listening.
Tens of thousands, say the truth.
I am blown away at the people that listen.
It is kind of amazing.
Last night, a buddy called me. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay.
I'm in the living room. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Let me tell you what I'm doing." I said, "I just finished grating cheese for homemade tacos."
Okay.
Love homemade tacos, by the way. One of my favorite things at home to do.
Love.
Love homemade tacos. I said, and I'm watching The Ghost in Mr. Chicken.
You were not.
Attaboy, Luther!
The Ghost and Mr.
Ghost
Chicken?
and Mr. Chicken.
That dates back to the 70s?
No, 60s.
60s?
That's like the mid.
Wow.
I had to. It's almost like another episode of Mayberry, because it was written by Jim Fritzl and Everett Greenbaum, which were two of the Andy Griffith Show writers.
Oh, my gosh.
And so Otis was in it, who played a town drunk. Claire Edwards, I think her name was Linda or something different, but it was Clara, and of course Barney. And it's
holy cow.
It's comfort. I don't know. It's just all of this crap. Kamala just lying her head off. All of a sudden, she's this huge border security person, and she's tough on crime, prosecuting criminals in California.
Yeah.
Well, bull nozzle.
Right.
But now that she's the nominee, now she has to go back on everything she's promoted for the past 20 years.
Isn't California the state where they leave stores with buggies full of free stuff? They just come in and fill their buggies up and walk out? And nobody chases them? No police action? Nothing happens?
They certainly don't get prosecuted.
And then the stores are now leaving the state because they can't do business because of the thefts?
One of the most beautiful cities in the country, San Francisco, is now one of the biggest toilets that won't be able to walk through anymore.
Oh.
Homeless people shooting up on the sidewalks, doing what all else? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Kamala's area, and Nancy Pelosi. That's what you want America to. Anyway, I said I just had to get away from it for a while.
Right, the ghost. Oh my gosh,
Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Which, by the way, I bought.
Did you really?
Yes. I want to be able to watch it.
You couldn't find it?
Anytime I want to watch it.
Oh, now you just have it in your bank.
Now I've got it.
Oh, that's
my
cool.
stuff.
There are some like that you just have to watch.
Well, there's a lot like that.
Yeah. They just make you smile. MASH is one of mine. The original MASH movie.
The movie. Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
Donald Sutherland.
Hilarious.
Elliot Gould.
Yes.
I told you my daughter met Elliot Gould in the airport in Los Angeles. She was traveling, and she knows him from Friends. Monica and Ross's dad.
Sure.
Mr. Geller.
Right.
So she did stop and say hi, and he was very nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, maybe a little too nice. She said, "Can I get a picture?" And he goes, "Yeah, you got to sit in my lap."
Oh, Elliot
Gould.
Wow.
Come on, dude.
Yowzer. Smidge old for her, Elliot.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
No, she did it. She got a picture. Make it a great Wednesday, Mike and McCarty. 1017 FM, 710keel.com.